Well, hello. Here to show you the class, graduation member here coloring. Is it what I went ahead and drawn right here? So far as you get the cap, so far as the cap and gown, and then along with the class ring, and of course, with this class ring right here, of course, was one thing that I remember getting whenever I was a senior, over there it's like at the high school I went to is Rockbridge, and what you see right here, you can barely see it, is that you get the name of from whenever the student that graduated from the school. He's like, you got my name. It's like, so far as Matthew McGuire. It's like you got the Matthew S. McGuire on the inside, and I would think that on the inside, right there somewhere it would say about what year that you graduated, and then you got that the Rockbridge right there. But of course, I went ahead and got this ring. Of course, on my senior year over there at Rockbridge, and and it now it's like it's almost close to 10 years since graduation. That more likely that you probably say that it's no longer good anymore. But I'm like it was pretty valuable. It was pretty expensive, and one of the things I would probably say that whenever I was in high school, during my whole time I was in school, I would think on my freshman and sophomore years that I never took the time to buy a class ring, and more likely that what they say is that with the class ring that you so far as known as that a member of so far as the class is that I guess it's a good way to show respect so far as with the other classmates, but you got the little blue diamonds right in there. But of course, I'll go ahead and wear it just to show us so far as the proof of as my artwork and talents. But you got right here, you got the cap and gown. It's like you have it. This right here, this gown right here, design will be like for a woman, and then this one right here will be for like a guy. But of course, they would have it to where they have different sizes and stuff, and then along with the class. But you have it right here is you got that the member of so far as who was in the class at the graduation. But of course, is that with that, a few things to remember also is that with the class ring to know is that of course the things that you can remember is so far as maybe the credit score is so far as is that maybe if you were if you were a plus student. And I remember whenever I was in school that I was not yeah, I tried to be, but it's like if I remember it would say on my grade reports that I was between my grade point average I was like 38.33 something like that. But of course say with an A plus student, I guess you would have to score above average for like a 4.1 for 41.4 so far as a score so far as a grade point average. I guess they also look at it as a GPA, is the GPA score. But basically, is that the psych is so far as the member of the member class, so far as the graduation member class that I came over here. So for you got the Bruins right here. But of course, one thing that I also have right here is of course is so you got that my student ID right here, and of course it's like you try to pick it up, but you got my student ID, and of course this one right here, which I graduated in 2004. This one right here, I think I kept ever since my junior year. Yeah, ever since my junior year. That whenever whenever the pictures are taken, that they don't require you to take a whole new picture of from your junior year or your senior year or whatever. But so far as any super seniors, but they have it to where you take a picture and you get the Bruins is like so far as the name of the school. But you have this ID right here. And along you got the picture of me right there, and I think that picture was taken, if I remember right, that was my sophomore year. I'm not exactly sure. I got another picture of that around, which I would probably say that that it was probably taken right about around the year 2000. It was that between 1999 and 2000, whenever that picture of me was taken. And I would say I had a lot of pictures around, and more likely that a lot of people would probably say that with pictures that a lot of times is that with the diploma is that when after you graduate, that more likely that after students graduate, one way to reconnect with students who graduate is by it's like maybe it's like nowadays they have to where you get the internet access to the internet and stuff like that. You got you see, of course, it's like the internet is like it comes so far as so populated nowadays to where it's like nothing cannot be done without the internet. And nothing cannot be done. I mean, it's like you just begin to wonder. It's like so far as marriage. If marriage can be done on the internet one of these days, or if it's in the works, it's like so far as marriage, or it could be something related to so far as studying about so far as maybe with whatever type of subjects that anything you can maybe think about. Anything that you can think about that that maybe could be done on a calculator, more likely could be done online. So far as mathematical type problems, and so far with anything else that I don't know. You can maybe say if you can even do hunting, if you can hunt for your own food or whatever you call it, do shopping, but a number of things that you can think of that you do maybe around town or whatever, more likely could be done online. But of course, we didn't really go to school to learn a lot of stuff. We didn't really go to school really to learn a lot of the stuff about too much about computers. But the fact is that of course you get the medal right here. Is that they give you a medal. It's like so far as a souvenir. But basically, is that if you were to go to school for, I don't know, more likely that they will probably say that, maybe the state would pay for it or whatever. But let's say if so far as computer training. But we can also think about back before they had computers. I would say back in 1970, 1970s, something like that, early 80s, before they had computers. That a lot of the stuff is that more likely that they could probably say that a lot of the stuff was more likely done on through paperwork, and then maybe it's like you got you have it to where you get desktops, fax machines. I guess fax machines were being used more often along with pagers. I mean, I still have one of the pagers I kept since I was very young, and of course why did I want one? Well that was before I had a cell phone. That was before. It's like if in case of my parents need to let me know that they were trying to reach me, where I was, I would have a pager, and I still have the pager, and more likely no, it can't be reactivated. But you got the picture right here. But say we all could think about it so far as the member class, so far as the graduation members, that being graduating is not too much. Really, just about is like so far as knowing about that we're waiting for school to get over with. But the fact about is that your classmates are also maybe considered your best friends, your family. And in a way I think about it is that with graduation, that a lot of the things that you may have kept from over the years, like maybe as a senior class ring, or it could be say as a student ID. And the fact that to know is that it's like to keep in mind that whatever you still have around the house or whatever, to know that is like is that just look at it as something to remember by. But so far as graduation by the member of the class, and so far as is between the years with most members of my family between 1970 and 2006 is from when most of the members of my family graduate from. But so far as the graduation and member class coloring.